What's up guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video. Hope you're staying safe out there. In the meantime, we've got the 2020 iPad Pro today, a product we've been waiting on for a long time, but that's finally here. The spaceship has landed. It has been almost 2 years. It's actually been about a year and a couple months, some change here since we saw the last iPad Pro. The last one was a 2018 model. We're checking out the 2020 model today. There are a couple of firsts for this iPad: a LiDAR laser scanner, 2 cameras, an A12Z processor. The first time Apple's ever using that name. I'm here to unbox it and tell you if any of that means anything. So drop a like if you're looking forward to this comparison between this one and last year's iPad, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date. Ooh. You know it's good when that static keep it clinging to you. This is the 128 gigabyte model. Now let's go ahead and set it down. The UFO has landed. Here it is. It's the new iPad Pro, but essentially, except for this right here, it looks just like the last iPad Pro. I really respect how light it is. Let's just go ahead and not even jump into the accessories yet. Just give it a little, gosh, I've missed this. More on this in just a little bit. Below this, you have some quick start guides. You've got your little 18-watt adapter right here for some pretty quick charging, and a USB-C to USB-C cable, because just like last iPad Pro, it's got a USB-C port on it. Just can we get it on the iPhone, please? I've waited my entire life. Can we please get USB-C on the iPhone? Look at this little attention to detail. There's even room for a little square camera bump, which is essentially the main part of this story. Let's go ahead and power it on. See if we get that nice Apple logo. Make sure the Rona didn't get to this iPad. And success. Mission accomplished. We've got a new iPad Pro. Now, I really like my iPad Pro from 2018. In fact, I have an 11-inch in space gray. Why don't I go grab it right now? Because it involves me getting up and it's very tight. I feel like I've sort of quarantined myself in here. Ding, ding, ding. We've got a winner. Here's the iPad I've been using since October of 2018. It's one of my favorite Apple products ever. It's got the beautiful 120 hertz display. Aesthetically, they look pretty much identical to before. I mean, looking at the camera bumps, yeah, there have been some pretty big upgrades there. It's the biggest jump for iPad cameras ever, but on the inside, that's where you're gonna find everything else. All right, I'm back. I know it looks like it was about 3 seconds, but I've actually spent the last couple of hours trying out all the new features, and I mentioned, on the outside, they do look pretty much identical besides the camera bump, but there's some really cool stuff on here that I didn't know about before using it. So I took a look at the new camera systems. I want to show you the craziness that is the LiDAR sensor, the A12Z processor, more RAM, faster Wi-Fi and cellular, a new microphone array as well, and new wallpapers. And that's where we need to start with these iPads, because that's a little fun one to kick things off. Now, obviously, you've probably seen the new marketing wallpapers, but they are pre-installed here. They take the place of the marketing wallpapers on the 2018 iPad Pro, and you got 4 ones in total, 1 light and 1 dark version of each. I think the purplish and green set is my favorite, but for a real burst of color, you can switch to the wild one at number 2 here with like 4 different colors. I mean, per usual, Apple knows how to make something look different just through a wallpaper. I'm not saying you should upgrade for the wallpapers, but I'm saying you should upgrade for the wallpapers, if you know what I'm saying. You probably don't know what I'm saying, because I don't know what I'm saying. Enough of the goofs. Let's get into the big upgrade here, which is the camera system. Holy cow. All right, that's the raw emotion that I'm bringing your way right now. Okay, the cameras themselves, they're okay. There are some nice improvements, and they go as follows. For what I like to call the front time camera, which is the Face ID sensor one, the selfie cam, it doesn't look at first like there are many changes until I show you this really uncomfortable angle right here, because you can really see the change in dynamic range. So 2018, really dark. The sky, you can't even see detail in, but you also can't see like a lot of detail in my face. So it's just kind of a double Debbie Downer there. On the 2020 Pro though, there's lots of detail, and the video looks really great to me. I think they did a great job, and I was genuinely impressed there. Not like you're gonna be shooting a lot of selfies though on the iPad, but for FaceTime, I mean, this could be a serious appreciation for the person on the other end, looking at you bright, a little bit more cleaned up. As far as the other photos and videos, I'll just let you have a look at these. I spent some time looking at them myself, and as somebody who shoots video quite regularly, I didn't really notice a difference generation over generation. Now, I would think that Apple's using the same sensors or setup in here, like it's basically a copy and paste of the iPhone 11 cameras, but for example, while the iPhone 11 series has enhanced Smart HDR, that really does help with dynamic range, especially on the rear camera, these just have normal Smart HDR. And like in the settings app, if you go into settings and then look at your camera, it really is identical. But to compensate for not a difference that I could see personally, you do get the ultra wide camera, turning shots like this into this. It's fun, and it's a really cool upgrade. Again, though, I don't think that this is very practical for the iPad. I've mentioned many times, do we need these upgrades for the camera? Is it worth it? In fact, if Apple would have just added the second camera lens, or let's say even 3 camera lenses, I would have said the exact same thing. Why even upgrade the camera? It doesn't even seem worth it until they added the LiDAR sensor. Now, this is rumored to happen on the next iPhone as well, and after trying it out on the new iPad, I can tell you it's gonna be really useful. But I wanted to see, is it actually good? So take a look at this. I got a couple examples for you to sell you on this. This is a ruler. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Now, I know that the system we use here in the US doesn't make any sense, but we're just gonna say that these are inches because that's what I'm used to. So obviously a ruler is 12 inches. I set it down. You can see it comes up a bit short actually on the old iPad. Take a look at the new iPad. Dead on. 12 inches on the dot. It was spot on, but there's more. My iPad, it's about 5.5 inches to the T long. That's an iPhone 11 Pro standard. I took my ruler again, measured it out, made sure I had the right measurement. I removed the ruler, then I scanned it with the old iPad. Came at like 5 or 6 inches. I can't remember which one, but it was off. Same measurement again with the LiDAR scanner though, 5.5 to a T. But not only that, without even having to measure the rest of it, it automatically detected that it was a rectangle and gave me an entire cutout. I tried this later on other parts of my house. It measured doors and was very accurate. I'm not telling you that it was to the T, perfect, infallible. That's gonna be no technology. But this is light years better than what we had on the Measure app before, and I cannot wait to have this on my phone because I always fall back to a traditional ruler or a tape measure because it's been unreliable. I actually feel really confident just using the LiDAR sensor on my iPad now. It was really good. That's what changed my mind about this iPad Pro camera setup. It would have all been a waste, but the LiDAR made it worth it because it's actually practical. And with more augmented reality features coming in iOS 14 from what I've been hearing, and many other apps just coming to the App Store, it's gonna be a worthwhile upgrade. And one other tidbit for the cameras, Apple says the flash got brighter. So here's a quick comparison of that. I mean, they're going all out with the camera upgrades this year. I'm laughing a little bit just because, of course, we could not forget a slightly brighter True Tone quad flash upgrade. Next up, Apple's also claiming that there's a new 6 microphone array studio quality mic setup on here. Well, I'll let you listen to these two and then I'll tell you what I think. This is what you're listening to right now. This is the 2020 iPad Pro. It's new. You can hear I'm having to talk a little bit louder because that lawnmower, man, it is on my tail. And now switching over to the 2018 iPad Pro, pretty sure you'll be able to tell a difference right away. Like, for example, the noise level. The noise is so much more severe on the iPad to the point where it sounds like your traditional MacBook mic. And honestly, I would say overall the quality sounds a little bit better. Just for another reference, here's something a bit more tame with me inside. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Isn't that I think that's the sentence you're supposed to type when you're learning how to type on the computer. Anyway, that was a 2020 iPad Pro. Now switching over to the 2018. Hopefully this is giving you a nice range. This is the difference. The noise is so much better, as you can tell, and overall, it's a pretty solid upgrade. You've also, for the first time ever on an Apple product, actually a couple first on this iPad, and you see that as well with the new A12Z processor. I should have known something was up when I didn't see A13X in here, because you got an A12X in 2018, and as you know in the alphabet, just as there's not a very large difference between X and Z, they're both at the end of the alphabet, you're gonna notice that in the performance as well. Everybody testing out these iPads has said the same thing. There's like a little bit of an upgrade. We're talking like about 100-point difference from my experience on the Geekbench scores. What is that gonna translate to? Absolutely nothing. This new iPad has essentially the same performance. Looking at the rumors, it's probably because there's said to be a second iPad Pro upgrade coming later this year with 5G support and a 13X processor. That's not here now though, so you've got like the smallest processor upgrade of all time. RAM though did see something more significant. So on the 2018 iPad Pro, only one model had 6 gigabytes and it was really secret. You only knew it if you bought the 1 terabyte model. That's the only one that had it. Everything else, it had 4 gigabytes. Now all models of the 2020 iPad Pro have 6 gigabytes of RAM, but as I tried to get it to reload or lose some pages in Safari, you're gonna have to be using a ton of really RAM intensive apps. So storing a lot of temporary temporary data to switch back and forth and notice the new gigabytes. I mean, I really mean, like, I tried for a couple minutes to just get something to reload. And at that point I was like, why am I even testing this when no one's gonna really notice a difference? But it is here. It is built inside of the 2020 iPad Pro. The base storage also got upgraded internally, so it's double for the same price. The old iPad for $800 had 64 gigs. Now the new 2020 iPad Pro for $800 has 128. Finally, Apple also upgraded the Wi-Fi here to Wi-Fi 6. The only other product that Apple makes that has it is the iPhone 11 series. So if you get super fast Wi-Fi and have a really quick internet connection, then the new iPad can take advantage of higher speeds. But most of you probably won't have insanely fast internet, so you won't notice a difference year over year. Apple also says that cellular speeds got a boost as well, but as I don't have the cellular iPad, I couldn't actually test those claims for myself. Unless you're someone who records podcasts about augmented reality LiDAR stuff on your iPad, I don't know who should upgrade from 2018 to 2020. Like, the performance is almost identical. The RAM experience for me is almost identical. The camera quality is identical in a lot of ways. It does get a little bit better for the FaceTime camera, and the microphones do sound better, and LiDAR is awesome. For everybody else, though, that doesn't already have things like a really great camera on the back, or an amazing 120 Hz display, or lots of internal storage, or a LiDAR sensor, then those are the people that this iPad was made for. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like down below, hit subscribe for more. Tell me down below if you're going to be getting a new iPad, and I hope you enjoyed it. I had some fun looking at these. More to come for Apple products in the future, and I'll catch all of you because I'm almost out of space in my next video. Peace out.